let's say you have some irregular days that come up that disrupt your normal schedule. Well, this is perfect for special events. So let's look at those. Go ahead and we're going to click back into our example schedule here. And as you can see, there's a link to special events over here as well. We'll click that. Now there's nothing listed here so far, so we're going to go ahead and click Add. And we'll type in a name, call this one Half Day. And we get a choice of different types of special events to create. The date is basically you can set it for a single day in which to set your special event. So I could set it for the 23rd of May 2016. And we'll go ahead and hit Add. And there it is, labeled as Half Day. Now, I set the special event up here. Now, nothing's actually going to happen yet because I haven't told it what time the event happens. I've only told it what day it happens. So that's why we need to go over here. I have my event highlighted here, and I want to click the Add Event over here to establish the time. So we're going to go ahead and say from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And in this case, we're going to say it's unoccupied because in this instance, we're using this special event as a time in which things are not going to happen. So only half the day will be occupied. Then we're making an exception to make the last half of the day unoccupied. This also works. Let's say you wanted to add a special event that's happening after hours. You can do the same thing. So we'll go ahead and choose a day for that. We're going to have that one, 24th of May 2017. Add that. And then for this one, in that case, go ahead and set it for from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and we'll set it for occupied. There we go. Let's take a look at some of these other options that we have here for adding special events. So we'll go ahead and we'll call this Green Day. We can go ahead and choose, let's just say every Friday in April for any year is called Green Day, and it's going to be off. And we can set up something that maybe it's every week. Every second week of March, or you could select every other month. A lot of different combinations here. I'm just going to go with that. Including we can set up a date range, which covers a start time and an end time. We can set this specifically. Maybe we can set it specific. You could say that span there. So again, we need to set up the times for these. We have set up the days. So these are highlighted and I have no time set up for them yet. So we need to go ahead and do that. Hit add event. If you just want to make the whole day go unoccupied, you can just leave it at default settings and hit that. So we're going to go ahead and do it that way. Unoccupied the whole time. Unoccupied the whole time. So now we got ourselves several of these events, and we'll go ahead and take a look back at the main schedules page. Now let's say I had a lot of schedules on here and I had a lot of holidays. I wouldn't want to necessarily set up my holidays in each individual schedule and go through and set up 4 or 5 holidays for every one of these. What we can do instead is use a calendar reference. So if we go into our example schedule once again, and we go to our special events, and we go ahead and add the event, and that was this choice down here in the drop down. A lot of these give you a lot of options for different combinations to set up, and I showed you some of those. If we go to reference, this allows me to look at the station for any calendar schedules that I have there. And so I'll choose my example calendar from my drop down, and we'll call it add. Now what this does is any days that are set in my calendar that I'm referencing will come into this schedule here. I haven't set any days on the calendar yet, and that's what I'll get to next. But we do also always need to make sure we set a time for when those events take place. So we're going to make this a holiday schedule, so these days will be unoccupied. So we're going to add the event, leave it at the default of unoccupied with this time range here, and we'll hit add. And as you can see, this is filled up with an unoccupied block of time. One thing I wanted to make note of while we're here is maybe you've got some events and they may conflict with one another. What you can do is you can set the priority for your events, the topmost item being the highest priority and the one at the bottom being the lowest priority. So if I didn't want my calendar to take precedence over these other special events, I can move it down in priority. So any conflicts are resolved by this priority list here. So that's something, if it becomes an issue, you can go ahead and set your priorities between your schedules this way. So we're going to move that back up. And we're going to go back to our main schedules page. So at this point, I want to change my calendar to put my holidays on this. So here we are in the calendar scheduler view, which looks very similar to the special events. And there's nothing currently set up. So we're going to go ahead and add some events. Go ahead and make that June 6th. There's one. And another. And that should be enough. Now if we didn't want one of these holidays, we could always hit delete and confirm the delete, and that would get rid of it for us. As you can see, there's no time for us to set up on these because these are being referenced by the schedules, and the time is set in the schedule itself. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our main page and check out a schedule. Take a quick look and see that our calendar events are listed right here, which is convenient. And remember that our special events are listed here and our calendar is right here. So if you had a lot of schedules and they frequently tie together the same holidays, you can make all of your calendars reference, you can make all your schedules reference a calendar, and that way you can set up all of your events in the calendar and not have to go to the individual schedules and set them up there. Well, that about covers it for schedules. For more guided tour videos, check out our site at control-net.com, and thank you for watching.